Hello, everyone. I welcome you back to my channel on network security and cloud, as I have been covering some videos related to how I did few certifications and on the basic networking concept. So I'm going to include security and cloud concepts later, but right now we are starting a series on some basic networking concepts, because if we see for any other certifications, networking is very important. So I am planning to cover all the basic networking concepts here in this series. So today we'll see one of the interesting topics which we have, protocols. So let me share my screen. So when we talk about protocols, these are simple rules and guidelines. When you try to communicate with someone, you follow some rules and guidelines. For example, if I talk to you, I'll say, hello, hi, how are you? So computers or devices also need to communicate and follow some standards, rules, regulations. That is what is protocols. I try to include almost all these protocols, but still you can see a lot of protocols in networking, but these are some basic protocols. TCP, transmission control protocol. This is connection oriented. This gives you a guarantee. This gives the acknowledgement. UDP is user datagram protocol, where there's no guarantee, there's no acknowledgement. Now, is TCP good or UDP? Depends on the application. So if you need a guarantee, if you need to send a document to someone, you can use TCP. If you are buffering a video where speed is very important, go for UDP. POP, post office protocol, IMAP, internet message access protocol. So this is for the email. When you try to receive the email, so this is your email server. These are the settings which you need to configure when you set up your email client, like Outlook Express, or in the webmail. But this is already configured, or you need to configure sometimes. So this is for receiving mail. IMAP is also for receiving mail. POP is, everyone uses this protocol, but some business people, they use IMAP because you can make a folder, you can decide what are the mails you want to download, so you have a lot of control on IMAP. Or SMTP is for sending mails, simple message transfer protocol. So this is where you send an email to someone using SMTP server on port 25 if it's not secure, right? Or 4659 and 5 for IMAP, POP and SMTP. So FTP is file transfer protocol. So this is where you have a file server and you want all the employees in your organization to download files. You can use Gmail also, but you don't want to hit the public internet. You want them, you want these files to be securely downloaded by your employees in your organization. You can use file transfer protocol. HTTP is hypertext transfer protocol. This is to get an HTML document from any web server. HTTPS is hypertext transfer protocol secure. This is the secure version where we use port 443 or 84. This telnet is for terminal network. So this is terminal emulation, which it was known by the name. So this is where you try to connect your server, or you want to connect your machine from your PC. You want to connect to your server, you go telnet and give the IP. That is where you connect to that machine, taking the telnet connection, because admin might not be able to travel to the server. It might be somewhere else. He's going to set up a telnet connection. Or SSH, which is a secure, because telnet is not secure. You send the username and password or all the message which is unencrypted, but SSH makes it sure that whatever username you are sending, it is secure. So secure shell, all that gets encrypted. So there's no man in the middle attack, or no one is able to decrypt that. Or ARP is address resolution protocol. So this is the mapping of your MAC with IP. So if a router is going to bring some reply saying that I have a reply for this IP address, whoever is this IP address, please give me your MAC address. This is what is ARP, address resolution protocol. Or there's a reverse ARP. Okay, so ARP is address resolution protocol. I know your IP, please give me your MAC. So that means, if I have a message for router, I know what's my router's IP, but I need to know what's my router's MAC. I'll say, whoever is router in my network, please give me a MAC. This is ARP. And RARP is the reverse. I know your MAC, give me your IP. Sometimes if the reply comes in, it knows it's for this MAC, so give me your IP. That's a reverse ARP. Or DHCP, dynamic host configuration protocol. This is where the server is going to assign IP address automatically to all the computers in my network. Or we have a SIP. So that is session initiation protocol. This is for VoIP, when you try to do some video conferencing and all that. It uses SIP protocol, like you do any kind of voice, like you have a lot of nowadays you have a lot of services where you use voice. So that is where you can use SIP protocol. Or SNMP, Simple Network Management Protocol. This is to manage all the devices in your network. So you have a server, you have the clients, you have the agents. Then you want to check all the devices, how they are doing in the network. You can, trap them. You can send agents and all that. So this is for network management. Or TFTP, Trivial File Transfer Protocol. It's simple to FTP, but it is simple. Mostly you will take the backup of your server, or maybe the iOS. Cisco takes the backup of their operating systems on the server. DNS is domain naming system, where you are going to map the domain name with IP. So some domain name, you want to get this IP, because routers, switch, and all devices, they don't understand domain name. So this is your language. You will not be able to remember IP. So what do? You say google.com. DNS is going to get you what's the IP for that google.com. Or IP is Internet Protocol. We have IPv4 and V6, 32-bit and 128-bit. 802.3 is IEEE 802.3. So this is the Ethernet standard for Ethernet. So why 802.3? Because it was done in 1980, and this was in Fab, because 2 is for Fab, and this was the third sub meeting. That is, how they give the name. 802.11 is for wireless. MAC is media access control, which is a hardware address, which is 48-bit address, which is a physical address. In your laptop, you can just go to command prompt and say get MAC, or ipconfig/alt to get your MAC address. You cannot change it, but sometimes you can do spoofing. Or SFTP. So this is a secure file transfer protocol. FTPS is also secure. Now what's the difference? So this is through SSH, and this is through SSL or TLS. So this is more secure. ICMP is for Internet Control Message Protocol. Most of the times ping uses ICMP packets to get that error message. TL is for transport layer security. So SSL, TLS use it as a part of HTTPS protocol to make it sure when you try to connect to a server, it gives you a certificate which is being signed by the digital certificate authority. SSL, which was earlier, now is being replaced by TLS. NAT is for network address translation. This is where you do a mapping of your public and private IP. Sometimes you have limited public IPs. You want to take all the requests from private IPs, or you can just protect your network from outsiders. You can use NAT for various reasons to save your IP addresses which are limited, IPv4. Or CSMA-CD, which is Carrier Sense Multiple Access Collision Detection. This was used in the hub environment in our Ethernet network. Whenever any device needs to communicate, they have to see if the cable is free, so they can sense the carrier. And when two devices try to send data at the same time, if there's a collision, they can detect the collision. Then the devices have to wait for some time to send data again. So this is the protocol to control those collisions. After that, we have a ring topology where there were no collisions, and then in switch we don't have such collisions because every port is in a separate collision domain, and then the router is going to break those broadcast domains also. IPsec is for security, so we can use it to secure those packets. It is used in IPv4 where it's optional, but in IPv6 it's mandatory, right? So these are some of the protocols which we have. Apart from this, there are a lot of other protocols, but I try to give an idea because when we work in networking profile, so we come across a lot of these protocols. We need to understand what they are and what is the port number running behind these protocols. So these are important. There are a lot of others also, but at least we need to know what these protocols are. So I try to cover almost all of them, but if I missed any of the protocols, please do let me know in comments. I'm going to include that in some other videos. So thank you. Please do like, subscribe, share. I'll see you in some other lecture. Thank you.